A new women and children's shelter is opening within Kalamazoo Gospel Ministries. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Lassiter here from the Wood TV live desk. Joining me this morning is Pastor Mike Brown of Kalamazoo Gospel Ministries. Pastor Brown, good morning. Happy Friday to you.
Good morning, Luke. Thank you so much for having me on.
You betcha. So the shelter opens with a campaign called A Shelter from Their Storm. Tell me about that campaign and this new shelter overall.
Well, actually, the campaign has been going on for the total, raising funds for this facility has been going on for about 10 years. And during that time, the cost of it all has gone up. It went from $8 million up to 10.3 is where we landed. We built a 45,797 square foot facility that's going to have a total of 191 beds in it. And all of that's for women and children.
Getting something open like this, why is that important?
It's important, anybody that watches the news, we see the numbers of women and children specifically rising. We had here at KGM needed this facility because our old facility that housed a good majority of our women and children was just obsolete. It was just not working at all. And so we had to take it down. And in that time, we took it down and we moved all of our women onto the second floor of our men's facility. And so you can imagine how cramped that was for the number of years while we were building this facility.
So a big project here, obviously. I want to talk about funding for it. How is that getting funded?
Mm-hmm. It's all funded through private donations. We had a couple of grants that we got, one from Federal Home Loan Bank, one from New Market Tax Credits, and then we got a very, very generous gift, $2.5 million from the Bill and Julia Van Domelen Foundation.
So is today is the day it's opening? Is there any other kind of timeline, or is today the day?
So today is the day that we're having our grand opening. We will probably start moving people in the next week or so to start moving them into those rooms. And we're going to start with the population that we have on hand. But it's going to give us quite a few more spots to open up for anybody that really needs help, that wants help, who's homeless.
So a few other programs that were brought to our attention within there to provide support to people who need it, such as addiction recovery, housing resources, and more. Tell me a little bit about those individual programs and campaigns with those.
Sure. We have two programs. One for women and one for men. And we have the Life Recovery Program and the Hope. The Family Hope program for women. And so those programs are year-long programs. And what happens is the person, when they want to be a part of that program, they sign a contract with us saying that they understand that we're a religious program, that we have biblical principles, and they're going to be challenged, to try to be an active part of changing their lives. And so that's what our long-term programs are. Now, prior to going into that, while they're still a part of the shelter, we have a community resource room that is a part of this new facility. It's a part of the renovation of the building that's connected to it, and that's going to connect housing resources with our guests at that level.
Tell me a bit about how someone is to get involved. If they reach out, what is point A all the way to, point Z at the end of that program?
Sure. When somebody comes in, when they come in, and if you're talking specifically about the programs, all they have to do is contact one of our staff. They can call our main number, which is 269-345-2974. That's 269-345-2974. They call that number, or they can reach us up on our website. That's www.kzoogospel.org. It's www.kzoogospel.org. And they get a hold of us and just tell us that they want to be a part of our program. And then we will talk to them about our expectations, rules, and that. We'll bring them on board, and they go through an intake process so that we can find out what their needs are and what is it that they're trying to accomplish. One of the things we do is we sit them down with one of our case managers and allow them to, along with that case manager, to come up with a plan to get them where they need to go. And what happens through that process is now they buy into the process. So now they're an active participant because it was, the plan was not just something that was put on them. They're an active part in it. And so they're more apt to, to be engaged going through the process. The process is a year-long process. Once we get them signed up and everything, then, like I said, they get a case manager, and then they start their classes. And our classes are around biblical principle, they're around finance, they're around dealing with addiction. We're talking about trauma care, those kind of things. We talk to them about how to build relationships with families, healthy relationship with families. And it was just a plethora of different things that they go through over the course of the year. A part of their time is spent in that classroom, but then another portion of their time while they're in that program is a part of being engaged in the ministry somewhere. They can be in food services, they can, and that's our work training program. They can be in food services, they can be in our thrift store, they can work somewhere in administration, just a number of different places, maintenance, that they can be engaged. And what that does is it allows them, when they leave here and start looking for a job, they have a resume then. It's one thing to be out of work for a long time and just go and you show a big gap, but when they're working through our programs, they're able to go and show that they've done something, they've been trained in some particular area, and that helps as well.
Now, is that process that you just explained there, is that the same lines for the new women and children's shelter as well, where if they come in, certain women are assigned a case manager, they take courses, things like that?
Yes. The women in that new women and children's shelter as well, yes.
Gotcha. Pastor Brown, we appreciate your time here. Is there anything else that you'd like to add here?
Well, as I said, that the majority of the funding that we got in was from the general community. There was a lot of community engagement to get this done. So I just want this community to know how happy that we are that they were so engaged and how much we appreciate this community comes. We're coming to support what Kalamazoo Gospel Ministries does. We've got a lot of work to do, going forward. And so we're looking for volunteers still. We have a number of open positions within the ministry. So we would love to have people to reach out and we can get them engaged.
How do people sign up for those volunteer opportunities?
If they would call that main number, 269-345-2974, an extension, they can sign up online, or they call 269-345-2974 and ask to speak to Matt Furrow. Matt Furrow is our volunteer coordinator engagement person. And so, he can get them all plugged in, sign up. And his extension actually is 203.
Pastor Brown, we appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you maybe have tuned in halfway through the stream or just clicked in here towards the tail end of this stream, you can click the link attached to this. It'll take you over to woodtv.com. You're able to check our full conversation there. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a look at the Wood TV Live Desk. I'm News 8 digital anchor Luke Lasser. Have a great afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see you around.